Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Happy Thursday to you all. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Everything is going well. I hope these messages are helping you and that you guys are benefiting from these messages, especially if they're resonating with you. Um, because what I do is talk from my own place of the experiences and trials and tribulations that I went through. So I talk about some ways how I got through them, and I hope what I share here will help you and it resonates with you, and perhaps you can apply it within your own situation. So, guys, yeah, today's Thursday. It's been a busy week for me. But I'm here, I'm showing up, and it's important that we keep this going. And please, guys, I always tell you this each video, take time out for yourself. Make sure on a daily basis that you're taking time out for you. Whatever it is that you like to do, music, um, going by the beach, having a glass of wine, just whatever builds up your spirit. That's so important in this world that we live in today because there's so much going on, so much uncertainty. You turn on the TV, the news, even coming to my phone, all this negativity, this toxicity. So I tune it out. Just music, like I have soft music going in the background because it changes your mood. The vibration of it uplifts your mood. Make sure that you're staying in a place of high vibration with all these things that's going on today. Take care of yourself, people. Never neglect yourself for anything else because without your physical and mental health, you can't do anything for yourself or anybody else. It's so important to keep going and take care of yourself. So, with that being said, I hope you all are doing well. One last thing before we get into the topic of discussion. Remember, I'm not a therapist, social worker, or a counselor. I'm just someone who's gone through trials and tribulations, not normal stuff. Um, it's like no one can get through this without God, what I've gone through. And I've just shared tidbits of it, not, the whole thing. And I'm sharing how I got through these things because if you guys are going through anything similar, perhaps what I say here on how I got through it will help you as well. So, now with that being said, the topic of discussion is healing and helping others. Healing and helping others is so important, guys, when we pay it forward because we're helping people who might be in a place of hopelessness and despair. There was someone who used to encourage me a lot from a church that I was attending, and he was so uplifting and inspiring. And when he passed away, it was just unexpected and overwhelming because, I always liked to see him when he was there because he always had words of encouragement. And, it just helped me as well because during the time that he was encouraging me to stand strong, I was going through a whole lot. And it's so important because you never know what people are going through because not everybody will share things just like I share here on this channel. Some people will go through things privately, quietly, and no one will know how they're feeling, what's going on mentally and physically with them because they're not sharing. Make sure you check on those individuals if you know who they are because it's important because the time that we live in, it's a different atmosphere. People, many people, not everyone of course, but many people are in that energy of riding a hate train. I got mine. I don't care about you and how you get yours. And it's just a lot of that. But the good news about it, how I see it from a different mindset and perspective, that I need to know who's riding that hate train. And the mask has totally fallen off. And now I can see these individuals for who they are. and I can set strong boundaries or decide to cut off, block, and delete altogether. But it's important that you know who these individuals are, and that's the good that's coming out of it. Also, try not to take in too much toxicity, even if you feel low or not that great. Let's say you might not be having a great day, because sometimes we all have good days and then we have days where we're just pushing ourselves. And that's how I feel a little bit today. And this is why I'm always having tea that helps my throat, because I talk a lot, and then I have that raspy voice from time to time. So this throat coating tea helps, and things to uplift, guys. And just at nighttime, chamomile, because it calms. It's a calming effect. Do things that uplift your spirit and keep you in a high vibe, because that's so important. Because if you allow the toxicity and negativity in, it's just going to lower your vibrations and make you feel some kind of way on a negative. So, guys, please keep moving. If you don't need to take it in, don't take it in. When it comes to the news, I get a lot of stuff to my phone. I don't look at it. I look at some of it, and then after about 7 minutes of it, I'm done with it. I don't want to take in all of that on a daily basis, because we know what's going on right now. It's important also to stay in prayer, and I do that a lot. God helps me that way. And what helps me also, like I talk about, helping other people is so important, because like I said, you don't know what people are going through, because they may not be sharing. Some people will share with you a lot, and others won't share anything at all. They would just be in that place of despair. So, a kind word, a kind gesture may make a difference between, hopelessness, despair, and a person being motivated to move forward. And I always like to help people, because, like I tell you guys, I didn't have a physical in person support system except for a therapist that I see once a week. I didn't have that family to cheer me on. I didn't have those friends. Yeah, Lisa, you can do this. And, to cheer me on. I had God, and people say, yes, you have God, but in a physical, I didn't have anyone. And the people who were there and who had my back were passing away. So it's just one day at a time, one step at a time. And it was just it was things that no human could get through unless you have the help of God. And like I always talk about, having the strength to do things because of God. God has given me the strength. There's a saying, I think it's footprints in the sand, and it shows like one set of footprints. It shows footprints, and it's a message that says, God is carrying me when I couldn't carry myself. Something to that effect. I have to go look it up again, but it's something that I want to put on my wall, because it reminds me of how good God is and how He is there. When I was at my lowest point, and it doesn't matter what people say or how they feel, I know He's been there, because He's shown me irrefutable proof of situations. There was no escape and no way out, but God came through as I took baby steps. And like I said, if you put forth the effort, you pray to Him and ask Him to help you, and you start taking steps in a direction that you want to see your life improve, it will improve. It's not going to happen overnight. It will take time, but you will see that if you don't give up on yourself. And another thing, people, if you give up on you, how do you expect anybody else to put faith in anything that you're doing? And if you don't love you, how do you expect anybody else to? These little changes that we make as we grow, heal, and evolve, and it changes our mindset. Like I used to think a certain way, black and white, no gray in between, seeing things from one perspective instead of not from another. And a metaphor I always use is algebra. That, let's say the answer to a formula is number 5, right? If this person over here does the formula differently than how I do it. As long as the end result is the number five, we're still on the same page. So the point of the matter is everything doesn't have to be done a specifically way just to see the results. Sometimes you have to get creative with it. And that's how I learned, to change my mindset with things. And if someone's trying to engage me in an altercation so that I can act out a character or whatever, I start to look at things from a different perspective. And I see that, and then I tell that person, have a good day, and I walk away. I will not allow myself to be a toxic individual because that's what somebody think I should be. And sometimes people who are toxic will do that, and sometimes you just have to walk away from situations, not allowing our ego to get in the way. Sometimes we have to let that go, especially as we heal, grow, and evolve. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. Even when I'm driving, I used to be this type of person where I would get angry, somebody cut me off, and then I'm driving, like trying to, you know, I let that go now. You want to go ahead, no problem. When you look at things from a different, and that's just an example, because when you look at things from a different perspective, you don't allow yourself to get, not the word is not talked into, but you don't allow yourself to be put in a situation where some toxicity is going to happen. Like I said yesterday in a video, sometimes people who are very toxic and they get bored and tired, you haven't seen these people in forever, and they have some drama unfolding. And guess who's the number one character in that toxic storyline? You. Because some people don't want to see you heal, grow, and evolve. They don't want to see you helping other people as you help yourself. They want you right down there where they are, like crabs in a barrel, pulling each other back down to the bottom. And you have already healed from those things. You're not the same individual anymore. You've healed yourself from these things. But people don't like some people may not like the new you, and they want to drag you back to a place of the old you where, in my case, I was subservient and being a doormat, never saying no, even though I know that I didn't want to do certain things. Now I can say no, and when people feel some kind of way and bring toxicity, I cut off, block, and delete. Before I get to that point, I set strong boundaries, because right now in the time we're living in, it's about helping people. People, live your life to the fullest. God gave us life. We all have an expiration date. While you're here, instead of engaging in the toxicity and drama, I'm going to get him back, I'm going to get her back over there, yeah, and all of this stuff, it ends up mounting to zero, because like I said, we're all on a timeline here. And what are we doing with our life? Are we making a difference, a positive one, in our life and in the lives of other people? Or are we just creating more toxicity in the world? These are the questions I had to ask myself as I started to grow, heal, and evolve. And I decided to change my mindset. If someone doesn't like me, that's fine. That's okay. We don't like everybody in this world, and that's okay. I'm not going to feel some kind of way. I'm just going to be over here. But when someone want to come towards me because they don't like me with some toxicity, we're not doing that. The old Lisa would be terrified of it. The new Lisa's not having it. We're not doing that. Cut off, block, and delete, because it's important as I grow, heal, and evolve to be at a place not of just inner peace, but peace, so that I can be the best version of my new self and I can help others as well. These messages I'm sharing about things I've gone through is helping a lot of people. People are subscribing to the channel, they're commenting. So it lets me know that these things are resonating with them, because they may be currently going through what I've went through already, or who knows what they're going through, but they are resonating with these messages. So the key factor to helping yourself is to help others as well. That's how God bless us too. And ask God to help you. Don't leave him out of the equation, and pray and ask him to uplift you and help you as you take a step and do this. And I'm talking from experience, God will help you. And as I made those vows and I moved forward, God has even helped and blessed me even more. And when people try to start something or do something, I just lift that up and give those tons of bricks and burdens to God so that I can stay focused on this path to help myself and help other people. Because if I'm focused over here about what A, B, C, and D is doing, then I can't be focused on me and helping other people. And as I do that and give it to God, He takes care of it quickly, because I've made vows and nothing's going to interfere with that. And when people try to interfere with what I'm doing, they're trying to interfere with the vows that I made. And God doesn't take that lightly. And like I said, sometimes we have to let other folks go when we're healing and we're serious about this journey of our health, mental and physical, because some people may not understand, but that's okay. But other people may want to interfere with that. And like I said, crabs in a barrel. So I had to cut off, block, and delete. And it was hurtful, but I have to take care of me. I've done the first part of my life being subservient, etc., and so forth. Now it's to help me and help others who are really serious about healing, growing, evolving, and being at that place of peace. And you're going to like the new you because it's going to feel like you drop those tons of bricks. As you get better, you do better, you feel better. And then you want to help other people to do the same so that they're not in a place of carrying those tons of bricks up a hill that they can't climb. It's so important. So, what I've learned is to turn that pain into power, not to succumb to it, but turn that pain into power, power into a purpose into paying it forward to help other people as I help myself. And that's how we grow, heal, and evolve. That's the message today, guys. Share it with others. Continue to show up here Monday through Friday. We're going to talk about different ways to heal, to grow, and help others as we help ourselves. That's the message today. This is Lisa shedding love and light. And do something wonderful for yourself today. When you feel better, you do better. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.